What's up, Facebook? We are live. We here. We here. And your name is Twan. All right, Twan. Oh, how I'm looking. Okay.
Are these on video too?
Yeah. Yeah, we live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. So we're gonna have about 200 people tuned in.
I got a pretty small team.
No, we got a big team. It's just we missing half. Everybody off.
Was it a rainy day?
Vacation. One on vacation. Another one on vacation. Then rainy day. It would be like, what is happening around here?
Close to me on the mic.
Talk right into talk right into it. All right, Jarrell. We can do it.
Going in. Tamara Fair on the Brunch Bunch.
Well, of course, I'm not Tamara Fair. She is in paradise, and I'll be glad when she gets back, because then it's going to be my turn to go. But I love being here each and every day, because it's always our aim to send you back better than you came, and we bring you some of the hottest guests in the city. And I am so excited to welcome for the first time to the Brunch Bunch the award-winning creative director and founder of Viet 5.
That's correct.
All right, I want to make it seems simple, but sometimes they'll be like, no, that's not it. It's a Viet 5 coffee, and that's none other than Brother Twan. Twan's inspiring journey from Vietnamese refugee to change maker has shaped his mission to empower marginalized communities. Through Viet 5, he's brewing more than just authentic Vietnamese coffee. He's creating opportunities, fostering inclusion, and building brighter futures. Let's give a warm brunch welcome to Brother Twan. What's up, man?
That's a nice introduction. Thank you so much.
Oh, man, you deserve it. You're doing some amazing things. First of all, I love any guest that brings gifts. So you came bearing gifts. We love
it's Lunar New Year's. Yep. So it's Year of the Snake, brother. So
yeah,
I had to make sure that, you came with gifts with that good, robust coffee from Vietnam. So
listen, and I can't wait to try it. So let's jump right in.
All right.
Can you share your journey from arriving in the U.S. as a refugee to becoming an award-winning creative director?
Oh, wow. That's yeah. I'm really, first of all, I want to just thank God for everything. Even before I known him, that our journey from Vietnam, as I say, like my family and I are refugees from Vietnam. After the fall of Saigon in 1975, my family on both sides was placed in either re-education camps or relocation camps. And on my father's side, he was in re-education camps. But after 5.5 years of that, he was able to devise a plan for us to leave Vietnam. And on a small fishing boat, 45 by 15 with 55 people on board, which I was the youngest of those 55s. We adjourned at sea for about 5 days prior to coming to Kuala Lumpur refugee camp in Malaysia. And because of his service to the United States government during the Vietnam conflict, it's both serving with the South Vietnamese Army and the American military, he was able to have asylum to the United States.
Wow.
So that's where we came to the United States in November of 1981. And that's where our life started in the U.S. But for my personal journey growing up in the U.S. was during the mid 80s and 90s. It wasn't as a welcoming as experience as I would hope for any child to grow up in America. We were placed in government housing, what you kind of dub now as like the projects of America.
Yeah.
We were the minorities within the minorities of the neighborhoods, and that's where my upbringing kind of influenced my lifestyle that I began to take on as a young adolescent, and that's where I got involved in the drug trade of the 80s and the gang cultures of the late 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And then eventually, 3 weeks after my 18th birthday, I committed a first degree murder act.
Oh wow.
That landed me into a maximum security prison with a first degree murder conviction and sentenced to life imprisonment.
Wow.
With the eligibility of parole after 15 years. Fast forward though, after 15 and a half years, I was granted parole and was released on my first eligibility date, on my first parole hearing, which is kind of unheard of. And that's where I believe in the grace of God.
Oh yeah.
That's given me that opportunity. After getting out right away, I went to college. I applied at this university in the middle of nowhere in Kansas, which has had an amazing, phenomenal, world-renowned design program taught by a professor. He's not only professor of art and design, conceptual design, but also a professor of life. You know, a teacher and a giving of life to you through art and through creative thinking.
Yeah.
You know, beauty is fleeting and art could be subjective, but teaching you conceptually how to think and ideate your creativity really, you know, breathe life into the artistic abilities that God's given me even before I even knew I had a
that
gift,
you had it.
you know. After 3.5 years, I built my portfolio from the school, and the largest ad agency in the world recruited me. And
Wow.
looked at my portfolio. And the agencies here in the city of Chicago, it's Leo Burnett. Recruited me to come to Chicago to work as a creative. And essentially that was my first job and only job I've ever had. After working there for about 8 years, I left my job to start my business.
Congratulations.
And it's, you know, that's where Viet 5 kind of come from. And through the journey, there's a lot of stories in between about like earning awards and serving our community and giving back and things like that and why. But that's the origin story.
That's an amazing story. That's an amazing story. It's a story of redemption, of grace, of starting over. And all I could hear while you were talking, it was nobody but God.
I mean, that's the only way I could explain it, because even during that time, not even knowing him and a relationship, I knew that it's in God's providence and guidance that even got me to where I am.
Yeah. And it's funny when you said Leo Burnett, I was with a friend the other day and he was showing me pictures of Leo Burnett's office that he built and sold to him, an old firehouse. Yeah, by the United Center. So that's amazing. So let's talk about VF5 for those of us like myself who's new to hearing about it. And for the believers that are listening, what inspired you to start VF5 Coffee? You know, you were advertising, creative space, working for the top advertising company, and you said, I'm going to do coffee. Seems like a big flip switch. So what inspired you to start VF5 Coffee?
I think what inspired me is when I went back to Vietnam for the first time in 2019. So there's a huge gap there from 3 years old to being in my 40s, going back to Vietnam for the first time. And my uncles made me some coffee and literally was letting me know that this is our coffee and that we grow this coffee, we harvest this coffee. And it's like the best drink I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
And the first time I came in contact with Robusta coffee, you know, in the Western world, you kind of have this Arabica, you know, profile of coffee, and also, you know, learning about the coffee through colonization, you know, out of oppression, you know, this gift that's hidden from the world that now we plant and grow on the land that was once conquered, but that was taken from us, but they left the seed so long ago. That's coffee now grows and sprouts on the land that we own.
Wow.
So I was just inspired to bring that to the U.S. to really share what authentic Vietnamese coffee is, you know, and essentially sharing our story through that. So that's what Viet 5 means in the name itself. You know, if you count to 5, let me teach you how to count to 5 in Vietnamese. You ready?
Yep.
Mo.
Mo.
Hai.
Hai.
Ba.
Ba.
Bo.
Bo.
Nam.
Nam.
So that's Vietnam. right? That's
Oh,
Viet 5. That's how
gotcha.
you spell 5. But it really shares our story, our family gospel, right? Our 5 days at sea with 55 souls on board, which I was the youngest. We spent 5.5 months in a refugee camp in Kuala Lumpur. And you know that in numerology, the number 5, it means making choices that leads to change, that leads to freedom. That
Yeah.
really embodies our refugee journey and my family's story. But in the biblical context, it equates to grace. And that's
Mm.
my personal journey. That's my why I'm here today. As I can only say that it's only by the grace of God, because
I
I would
love
never have. I shouldn't even be here, is what I say. But one of my spiritual mentors said that no, you are meant to be here.
it. You're meant to be.
You are meant to be here, and I really is just grateful for that. And we get to share that and say Vietnam every day through what we're doing missionally, through what we're doing, just presenting through a cup of coffee.
I love it. I love the whole story. I see a book. If you need a manager, I got you. But the story is amazing, and it transcends cultural differences. Right?
Yeah,
No
yeah,
matter what your ethnicity is, we've all experienced some of the same things.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I know some young black brothers who are probably listening and has had that same story of being locked up, of getting a second chance, but now they and maybe doing something, but now your story is also showing I was doing something that I love totally different, but now I took all those skills and now I'm serving some of the best coffee Chicago has to offer. So where is VF5 located?
It's located 1116 West Madison in the West Loop neighborhood. I wanted to be in a place where you least expect a Vietnamese coffee with a journey like myself would be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an outlier in the West Loop.
Yep.
And that's where I want to be.
Gotcha.
I wasn't in Argyle Uptown, or I wasn't in Chinatown.
Mm-hmm.
I think our story is a global story.
Yep.
Right? We want to speak to a global audience with a global product. And I believe the microphone that we have, it's really a God story through what we're doing.
I love it. And I love that you keeping God first. That's why you're so blessed. So Twan, what sets VF5 apart from every other coffee shop?
Yeah, we like to say that we share our story,
Mm-hmm.
we build community, and we do it through the love of Vietnamese culture.
Mm.
Right? Inherently, that's what we are. But really, our story can't be duplicated. Our journey can't be manipulated or processed. It's just what it is, and we
Mm-hmm.
share that first. Even in the 3 tiers that I'm speaking about it, I'm not even talking about coffee. Coffee is really the medium of it.
Yeah.
And what separates us is that we create this space where community exists.
Mm.
We have a thing we call rightful presence at Bit5, that everyone has a rightful presence at Bit5 when they interact with the brand or stories that, like you said, it's a story of humanity that everyone should resonate with.
Yeah.
And we happen to do it, which I believe is some of the best coffee in the world.
So when let's illustrate it for the listeners real quick.
Yeah.
I've only been on the social media page and saw the great packaging.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
now I see the creative background. You're gonna make
Thank
sure
you.
it's top notch. But what do we expect as we walk through the doors? What's the vibe? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vibe is right. I think the vibe is free too. So it's not like Starbucks. You have to buy something to be there. Right? The vibe is free. It's really the energy in the space, the negative space. I have some key elements designed in the physical space of Vid 5, and it ties to our story as well. So there's a wood element which
Mm-hmm.
ties to my boat people and journey.
Yeah.
There's the brick element which ties to me growing up in government housing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a negative space in there that's like ties to my art space, because I believe life is an empty canvas every day that you can imagine
Yeah.
and see how your life is a part of that, and then you can recreate each and every day. And then there's the concrete element that is you step in, and that's really ties to my prison experience and what's just keeps me grounded, reminding me where I come from or how far I've got to go still. But when you come in, you feel the atmosphere of a welcoming space. You should be greeted by our team. I have an amazing team, because without them, I wouldn't even be here.
Mm-hmm.
Because they hold me up every single day. You'll be greeted, and you get to you can smell the aroma of the banh mi sandwich. The brewing, the fin brewing of the
Mm.
coffee, which is a little different for you. And then you can just smell the air fried banh mi and empanadas. And then hopefully that
you got the producer back here ready.
Yeah. And the team is playing that some Vietnamese music in the back, some Vietnamese hip hop, some Vietnamese soul, some classic.
Wow.
And then you got some R&B and some hip hop as well. It's a mixture of genre that ties into my growing up, in America essentially. So that's the atmosphere, man. I hope you had a great experience when you get there, and then we always greet you, as you leave the door as well. So.
Well, I'm coming to visit, and believe it, I'm
Yeah.
encouraging you to pull up at VF5 Coffee. That's 1116 West Madison. Let them know you heard about them on the Brunch Bunch. I'm coming. I'm gonna go make some at home.
I got some brewed in there already in a bottle, so you can drink it right now.
Oh man, listen,
right now.
Look, it's like do it now on the radio so I can get your honest response. Is this the one?
It's in a bottle.
It's in the bottle.
3 different kinds. I also got some. You are lactose intolerant too. I got some non-dairy.
Well, I like black coffee.
Okay, there you go.
Listen,
it's
look, Jarrell laughed. I am so black, but I don't like black coffee because I'm black. I just like a real nice, strong black coffee.
Robusta coffee is low acidic. That's one of the first things that It's higher in antioxidants. It is 7 times more dense than Arabica coffee. So because of that, it is packed with twice the caffeination.
Now, is this about to have me footworking down Michigan Avenue?
Break dancing.
So. It is really good.
Yeah.
And so we can come in and buy this package.
You can buy that package, bottle, cup. You can make some certain
Starbucks,
drinks.
Count your days. I'm canceling that subscription. I order cold brew on repeat, but we're going to come over here to VF5. Yeah. Listen, Twan, before we let you go, how can people connect with you guys, social media, connect with you? Yeah. We definitely want to have you back because the story is amazing. And I think sometimes we forget that we're not the only ones that have public housing experiences. When you said the project, I was like, I don't know if he really talking about the project, but you said the projects and you explained it. So I want you to come back, share your story again. We're gonna create this synergy so that the Brunch Bunch. We may have to come over there and do an event or something. But how can people?
I love that. Yeah, tap in with us on all social media platform at VF5, from TikTok to Instagram. Check us out on our website at www.vit5.com. But also come to the shop this Saturday, tomorrow at 2 p.m. We're doing a Lunar New Year celebration with a lion dance performance, red envelope giveaways, and then gift giving and things like that. Free coffee. We're going to have some free drip coffee for everybody. So come on through. We just want to build community in this city, man.
I love it. 2 o'clock tomorrow, VF5. That's 1116 West Madison. You get to try the coffee and celebrate the Lunar New Year. Twan, we're praying nothing but success. Keep God first. Because the Bible teaches us in all that ways acknowledge him, and he will direct our path. Believe it, we're going to keep directing this path. We got a hot show for you. Filling in, I grew up in the black church. So I'm going to tell you, I always say, when you walk in church, you don't know what you're going to be doing because they didn't put you on program, but you better be ready. And so I know our guest co-host for the day is ready. He didn't know, but attorney Michael Flanagan is filling in as the guest co-host. What's up?
To trying out my new favorite coffee spot, especially since it's different than those Arabica coffees and 7 times more potent.
Yes,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
When he said that, I said, Lord, he's gonna have me for working down Michigan. Now listen, Miss Judy, shout out. I like that you said and I gotta give them a shout out because I know they're listening. In the bio, it says you're fostering inclusion and building brighter futures. I'm on the board of Building Brighter Futures in North Lawndale, and our reception to Miss Judy make some strong coffee, but I'm gonna have to let her know she got to step her game up. I'm gonna take her some of these beans over there. But listen, believers, go to VF5 1116 West Madison. When we get back, attorney Michael Flanagan and I are gonna interview some amazing brothers that's changing lives with group homes and helping to educate you on how you can get into this industry and save a life and make some money. I love it. Doing good while making some money is all for me. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share right here on the Brunch Bunch. I like this. This is really nice. Oh, man. Listen, I'm glad I didn't cancel the show.
And let's get a photo.
Yeah, we're going to get one.
So listen, so can you sip that? It's 7 times more?
It's 7 times more dense. Twice as caffeinated per weight.
And you said this is lactose free.
Yeah, they're gonna
open it. That's even better.
So once you open it, can you store it, or is it like once you open it, you gotta drink it?
You know, you can keep it refrigerated.
Okay, for how long?
Sure, you can keep this thing refrigerated. The bottle, like 14 days.
Okay.
Beans can last for like 2 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because once I open the Starbucks can, it's over with. Ain't no putting that back.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Churchview Supportive Living would like you to tour their beautiful housing community.
So, Twan, did Justin got your contact info?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just texted.
I'm gonna reach out to you, send you my information so we can connect.
Sure, man. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely support that.
Justin, you wanna walk them out and
Yeah, right down.
all right. And you know what? I didn't even drink no coffee today, so this is right on time.
We're gonna talk really fast on our radio.
Oh Lord. So everybody, let's start. My camera is acting up. If I start twitching, it's the coffee overload.
Tax season doesn't have to be stressful.
You too,
Tax office. We've been delivering professional,
Oh,
reliable
Lord
service
Jesus,
for
technology.
Surprise!
I know. When I saw you, I'm like, that brother looks familiar. Then when I got to the gate, I was like, wait, that's Flanagan. I'm like,
You know, I'm just thinking Thursday and Friday. I ain't thinking.
right. So I'm like, I can't even hit about to go. I'm like, you didn't tell me we had 3 guests. He was like, no, Flanagan not today. I'm like, well, he done made it. Just come on up. You can help me interview these other guys. We'll, shout you out and talk about you.
Oh, that's all.
I got to tell Tamara, I said, Flanagan sneaking extra days in.
Send him my invoice.
Right. What's wrong?
They're coming in.
All right, welcome, brothers. Welcome in. Welcome in. Come on in.
How you doing, man?
Oh, and they're officially.
Jamal, good to meet you, man. I appreciate you even reaching back, man.
No problem, man.
We got two.
Well, I was about to ask him, can he take it off?
How about that? I see you downstairs. I don't know if he know me. I think he
You know what?
Good to meet you, man. Jamal, Mike.
When I was coming in, I'm like, and I hate walking in late and the guests walking in with.
Oh, no, you good, man. Good. I know how it works.
Yeah, it was a rough day, but on days like this, I'd be like, y'all cancel the show. We go. Then I said, no, we got some great guests. And I'm actually excited to hear about what y'all doing.
Absolutely.
So I didn't do no background research or nothing. I'm going to just learn it right here.
Off the hip. That's the best way.
I'm going to wait to learn. Donna Wells is tuned in, and I know she with y'all.
That's me. That's me.
She's like, woo, group home mastermind. You know when they bring the old amen corner.
They on corner.
Yeah, the preachers, when they brought their own amen corner, they be the loudest person in the room. You ain't never seen them before either. You be like, where she come from?
There you go. They're going to represent.
So just in case y'all don't like what I'm talking about, I got my own help with me.
There you go.
Can you print another group home sheet? I want to give Flanagan one. Nope, it was 2 Twans. Twan, that was a good interview. The Vietnamese brother got a story out this world. And he said he did 15 years for murder. I was about to call security to get him out of here. But the attorney walked in, so I got a little back it up.
And the bag.
Where's the action, Jackson?
I'll tell you what's going on.
So what's going on is it's Friday, it's the last day of our work week, and we wanted to end it with a bang. We do Money Mondays, but we're doing Financial Friday, right? And joining me as my guest co-host is none other than attorney Michael Flanagan. Again, what's up, brother Mike?
Bringing that energy on a rainy day. It's all good, Chicago. At least it's not snowing.
Well, I'm going to say this before we get into this interview, because I just had to tell my driver before he pulled off. I said, now it's raining. You be very careful driving my car, because we don't want to have to call Flanagan. But we will if we need to. But, and that's what attorney Michael Flanagan does, his office, personal injury, We're gonna stick there just in case you do some other stuff. But if you're listening and you happen to get an offender bender, we're praying that you don't. You got to call your attorney first. And Mike, how can they reach you?
You can find me online at windycityinjury.com. That's windycityinjury.com. Slow down, y'all. It's raining today. You know your tires ain't equipped. You know your brakes ain't equipped. Slow down.
Talking about your wipers ain't working that good. So, and what we're praying that nothing happens, but we know the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. So he helping you to get in them fender benders, but we got attorney Mike that's gonna help you get out of it. So listen, we got two amazing guests joining us on the brunch one for the first time, none other than Jamone McIntosh and Ladarius Hafford. All right, founders of Group Home Masterminds. They're dedicated to addressing the critical shortage. This is why, listen, I'm excited. I'm excited because it is a critical shortage of children's group homes. Quality, trustworthy children's group homes. They empower aspiring group home owners with the tools and knowledge to create safe, nurturing spaces. Their mission is to make a national impact and transform foster care one home at a time. Let's give a warm brunch. Welcome to Jamone and Ladarius.
Thank you for having us. Absolutely.
Listen, when you guys reached out and we made the connection, I was like, it's a no-brainer. I said, send them the free link, because sometimes we charge for it.
Okay. I understand.
But when you're doing great work, we want to spread the word to people. And I grew up in a community where it seemed like everybody had foster kids back in the 90s, right? And I also saw a lot of foster parents do the wrong things. And so I vowed when I grew up and got older that I didn't care how many kids I had. I said, I'm going to be a foster parent because I know there are many kids that need good homes, and I believe I can provide that. So to hear that you Black brothers are doing this, it was like, I got to have them on the show. So for those unfamiliar, can you explain what a group home is and its role in supporting children in need?
So, you want me to take this? Shoot for it. All right, for sure. So what a group home is basically a home. It's really it kind of getting away from the term group home. Now they call it quality residential treatment facilities. So when people are with children are placed into the foster care system, the hopes is that they can get adopted or maybe, into a foster home where it's individual fostering like a family. But if they can't, then they put them into a setting where it's a group of kids that are in our foster care system, and they're getting their needs provided by more of a corporate type. I don't want to say corporate, but like a group setting in an individual home. Yeah. So
because there's a shortage. Not enough families are stepping up to do it, right? Okay, so what inspired you both? Now let's talk. Do you guys have your own group? No. What are we
group home for everybody out there.
They change these words. You can't call kids certain names no more. You got to make sure you stick by the book. But do you have these facilities of your own?
Absolutely. So, my wife and I started with our family. We started one back in 2018.
Okay.
And then 2020 opened the second one. 2022 opened the third one. So and then
I started in 2020, just branching off at him. I'm like, what you doing? How you doing it? How'd you figure it out? Because they don't teach this in school. They don't give you this education. So with him knowing how to direct me, I branched out to him, reached out, and I started my first one, and now we're moving into the developmental disability lane. So
I got to connect you with Deborah Vines. If you don't know Deborah Vines, she's the founder. She was actually on with us Wednesday. She's the founder and CEO of The Answer, Inc. And her whole network are individuals with developmental disabilities. And one thing I do know, she's advocating for connecting with homes like that because she's an older parent with a son with developmental disabilities, but she's always thinking, what if something happens to me?
Exactly.
Who's going to take care of my baby? And so now she's teaching her community to start preparing that. So that's amazing what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
So we talked about there's a need, but why is there such an urgent need? And when you put these homes together, are you buying a big building? You got to have a mansion. How does that work?
Now you can start with a regular single family property. So whether you leasing it or you owning it, you don't necessarily have to be an owner, but it helps. You know, I would recommend a long term lease if you have a landlord and that they know what's going on. But you don't need a large orphanage size building in order to start. You know, so
Mike, you looking. You got anything? You got questions?
I got a lot of questions.
I know. Go ahead. How about then?
So typically, is it men and women combined in a home, and if not, like how many? I would assume just single sex boys. How many boys you typically have in each home?
well, that depends on the number of bathrooms in the home. So, for Ohio, we can't have any more than 9 before it becomes a larger residential facility. And then at that point, you need a different license. So, you can house up to that, and then the genders do have to be separate. I mean, you can't have boys intermingle with girls unless, once again, you have a large enough established facility to do that.
Understood. And just tell us about some of the success stories that you've had and that you've seen.
Just watching I get calls every day now still. Like with some of the young boys that we've had, I have the autism niche. I mean, I do more autism and developmental and behavioral, but watching some of the young men that have been with me when they emancipate or they reunify with their families still reach out to me, that's a success in my mind, because you still got questions about life even though you returning home and things of that nature. So to know that you saw that I cared enough where we still keep in touch, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And they call you all the time. They're your children.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a testament to you doing something right, because some of these foster kids leave and they don't never want to see you again. And that'll let you know that it wasn't a great experience, you know.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Jamon.
Yes, sir.
How did you get into this? What made you? What did?
How did I get into it?
Yeah, just like what you
for
say.
Sure, for sure. Because I did not have a background in like the public, service, sector.
Yeah.
I was social service sector. I had a background in real estate. That's how me and Ladarius actually met doing real estate deals. But my mother-in-law and my wife, my mother-in-law had a transportation company where she was transporting kids who couldn't ride school buses. And then my wife was actually doing social work for adults. So they came together like, hey, let's start a group home. Now, one of the rules of owning a group home or starting one, you have to have somebody with a bachelor's degree on your team. At that time, I was the only one who had a bachelor's degree, like in the
family, right?
They was like, "You want to do it?" I'm like, "Sure, I don't care." Like,
so they just grabbed you up. You're like, "I got you."
I ain't know what I was getting myself into. I ain't know, but 7 years later, actually the first year, I'm like, "Okay, that's what it is." I kind of learned it, grew a heart for it, and it just became what I did. It became what I did, man. And it's funny how you find your niche, but that's how I came about it with my wife and mother-in-law.
Well, there's a saying, you can tell God your plans and he gonna laugh, right? Because his plans are not your plans, and your plans are definitely not his plans. And so sometimes there got to be somebody to pull you out and say, I need your help. And now you flourishing in this industry.
There we go.
So where are you based out of, Jamon?
Well, we both are based out of Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah. Cincinnati, Ohio is the home.
Oh, my joint. I love. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
So, since in Ohio, you have up to 9 kids. Now, for people like me, I know, Mike, we all listening. Like, so these kids live with you all. You all live in the homes?
No, we do not.
Okay.
They are separate homes and they live in that home. So starting out, my brother and I, his wife, we ran rotations.
Gotcha.
Before we had, the ability to hire staff. Now that we have staff, they are on 3 shifts. So, 24 hours is the mandatory watch for a home of that. You can't just leave.
You can't leave them.
Yeah. So they minors, yeah.
And that's what I love about you guys. Mike, you hop in anytime you want because, I got a million questions. I may have to cancel my next meeting. I had to sit down, bro.
Ask away. So did you guys see like a lack of minority-owned group homes? Are you all kind of one of the few African-American-owned group homes, or can you kind of explain how that fits in?
So I'll be honest, like from what I've seen, what we've experienced in the group home lane, is mostly Black women. That
Shout
own
out
group
to the
home.
women.
Shout out to the group. Shout out to the women who own group homes out there and run them and operate them. Like, I don't know what a group home industry would be without Black women. I'll just be honest. Like,
I don't know what this world would be.
What the world would be. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Black women. But yeah, it's definitely predominantly woman based. Actually, just like my story was my mother-in-law and my wife who told me about it.
Yeah,
I had no clue that these existed. So prior to. So yeah.
So let me ask you: what are some of the biggest challenges facing children in the foster care system that group homes like yours help address?
I would say just the level of trauma in America right now. So you got the opioid crisis going on. I mean, domestic violence crisis. I mean, all of these things trickle down to these children. I mean, we talk about the parents and what they are going through, but nobody is addressing the fact that little Timmy over here is now without a mom or a dad, and he needs somewhere to go.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody wants the cute little puppy, adopt a baby, you know what I mean? They fresh out stuff. But what about the 12-year-old?
Yeah.
I mean, things of that nature. So now they come into a situation where they're traumatized and they have things that they have to work out, and there are little to no mentors guiding them. You know what I mean? People aren't stepping up to be like, well, let me help you in this or give you some game, give you some wisdom. So they run to the streets. You know what I mean? Or that's the lane they look at as the best approach for what they're going through. So we know there's a ton of that, you know what I mean, constantly happening. And you do have to deal with some behavior. So you need individuals that are not just in it for the money, but also passionate about it.
Yeah. And that's what makes it so dope.
I was gonna say, speaking of money, for the listeners who are interested in getting into this business, can you all address the economics of owning a group home, and kind of how you get paid? Is the current administration,
gonna affect that?
Yeah. I can say it is. Pay can vary from state to state. I can speak to Ohio. Typically, you get paid a per diem for each child, so it is very lucrative. I'll be honest, it is very lucrative. As far as the Ohio rates, I say the average rate per day per child who spends the night in your group home is probably around $350 to $400 per day.
Okay.
So for each child, that's what you get as far as income. You are responsible for everything for the child, though.
Yeah. So
you're responsible for doctor appointments, getting them there, buying them clothes, food, extracurricular activities, things like that. Yeah. So that's what you're looking at for.
So for those of us that's interested, I got a 6-bedroom house. I'm like, you know what? I may not be moving in. I want to help the kids.
Absolutely.
You guys have a workshop coming up February 22nd.
Yes, sir.
And you're teaching in your group home masterminds. You're helping people start business and manage their business, correct?
Absolutely.
And you're going to be doing that in this. Let's talk about this event before we run out of time so we can get everybody in there that wants information.
Okay. Absolutely. So, if they were interested, they could visit our website. It's GHMM1.com. So GHMM1.com. And there it's just $99. It's a 3-hour workshop where we give you to start to finish how to open a children's residential treatment facility, aka group home. Because the disparity is just too high. I mean, just to rattle off some numbers about Ohio, our home state, but it's a nationwide problem to where we only had about 300 to 500 group homes in the state of Ohio. And this is 2023 numbers. The 24 numbers are coming out soon, but there were about 13 to 17,000 kids in the system that needed placement. And me and Ladarius, I know we both done had situations where we taking kids into our group homes who are sleeping on the floors of the social worker's office.
Yeah.
because they just have no place to put them. So we wanted to make a dent in that. We know we can't open up enough group homes to keep up, but the best thing to do is empower the other people. So this workshop, we'll be going over that, giving you the information to equip everybody to do it.
What's that website again, Bobby?
It's GHMM1.com. So GHMM1.com. I'll bring that up.
Shout out to your Amen Corner. She typed it in the comments on social media.
Oh, my God, hold me down. They gonna hold me down. That's for sure.
But you know what, believers? And I was in a meeting the other day. I love doing business when I can help other people, right?
Absolutely.
And so if I can do what I love and earn an income to take care of my family, it just makes it a whole lot better. And I do know there are kids, and my wife is fighting cancer, and we were talking about this before I knew about the group home. We were talking about just fostering some kids, right? And I'm like, we're gonna wait till God completely heals you, but we got enough room and space because after these two little ones we just had, you ain't gotta worry about it no more. I ain't having no.
There you go.
I want to start at 12 or 13. That's but believers, I want you to tap in. These brothers are doing, Jamone and Ladarius are doing some amazing things. They can teach you, they can show you and walk you through it. We need more people on the front lines taking care of our kids.
Absolutely.
Because we keep reporting on stories. We just reported another white couple on the East Coast that were treating those kids to slave labor. And they got caught. And the state records show how much money they were making. And they were treating those kids so wrong. So we need more good people on the line. Everybody is saying, God bless your ministry. God bless you, God. Thank you for joining us on the Brunch. Jamal, Ladarius, Group Home Masterminds. Go to GHMM1.com. GHMM1.com. It's only $99 and it's going down February the 22nd. And you know what? The first person to DM the Brunch Bunch at Brunch Bunch 1390 on Instagram and the first one to DM on Facebook that they're interested in the workshop, I'm paying for 2 people to take the workshop.
There we go.
All right, we're going to help some people.
Appreciate that.
All right, Attorney Michael Flanagan, thank you for joining us on the Brunch Bunch today as a guest co-host. I know we're going to make some great connections, right? Brother Mike and I about to go buy a few houses, open up some group homes.
Hey, there we go. We got y'all.
We got you, believers. We encourage you like we do each and every day. Keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Tell someone that you do know that you love them. And share some of that extra love you got with some kids that need a loving place to stay. And love will begin to spread like a wildfire. Tamara Fair, who's not on the air, bring your tail back from Jamaica. We'll see you next week. I saw Jarrell looking at me side eye. I ain't gonna cuss. I'm saved, brother. Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem, we love you too. Up next is AC Green. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390. See, Facebook, this was some great shows, great information. Make sure you log on to GHMM1.com. Sign up for that workshop. I like when he said you don't have to own the home. You know, sometimes there's so many barriers to entry in business. Let's do this behind the scene question. How much upfront capital do you need to get into starting a group home?
That varies. I mean, using creative financing and things of that nature, you could roughly come in with maybe 3,000 to 4,000. You know, it's not typically a lot, and the fact that you are a nonprofit organization, that's more donations and support.
Oh, because you run it as a nonprofit.
Gotta be a nonprofit.
Well, listen, if you're interested and you're not a nonprofit, you call the Dream Center. We got nonprofit in the box for you. We'll get you started, and we're gonna bring y'all back because I want to do something with y'all. Because I think I got a lot of people that are interested in business and they haven't found their niche. But I know a lot of people that this would be good for. And it'll help a lot of young people. So
there you go. Let's do it.
All right, believers, I'll see you on Monday. Listen, Dads, I forgot to announce it. This is the Dad Squad. We're going on our Dad Adventure tonight. We're taking the kids to Disney on Ice. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, you can stop by my office. We got coupons for $20 tickets, and they're premium seats. They're not the nosebleed. All you got to do, we're sitting in section 106 and 107 tonight. I'll see you there at 6:30. All right, see you all Monday. Have a blessed weekend and be safe.